Russian man like inside the dark, call me Bill Snatcher. Just the brother for the rapture. I hang glide, holding on strong, hard to capture. Extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a garden and start killing. It's manifesting. The God's work like appliances, dealing in my sleep like a lot.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explained here, bringing you guys another discussion for Boruto Naruto Next Generations. And today I want to bring you guys a bit of a follow-up to the events of Boruto Chapter 69. And I wanted to discuss a topic that one of my patrons brought up, which is the possibility that Ada has already placed Sasuke under her control. The logic behind their belief is that Sasuke was shown going to Boruto's hideout, and he got close enough to the hideout that he knew what it was used for, and he knew specifically about Bug, which has led them to believe that Sasuke likely did some type of recon in the area, which is very much in character for Sasuke. Most importantly, there's no way that Sasuke gets that close to where Ada is without her being aware of him by seeing him with her rinnegan eye. Which, speaking of Sasuke, my good buddy King Bullet did a video on what if Sasuke won. I recommend checking out that video over on his channel. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and say that while this would be one hell of a plot twist if it happened, I don't personally think that this is likely because Ada's ability to control hasn't been shown to have the ability to do something like Makima from Chainsaw Man, where it's legitimately full on control, down to controlling your actions and your free will. It strikes me as odd that Sasuke would pull up, make contact with Ada, and not report that information to Shikamaru. The only way that works is if Ada gave him the order to not do so, which means that her ability is a lot like Makima from Chainsaw Man. Now, don't get me wrong, I think it'd be one hell of a plot twist if this were the case, and would open up the door for explaining more about Ada's powers. If my belief about her needing to use eye contact to use her enchantment ability, and the fact that her rinnegan can only focus on a certain number of events at a time is wrong, and it turns out you just need to be in the area and she just needs to focus in on you with her rinnegan, then this could work. Sasuke could be under her control. Ada knows Sasuke's there. The range of her enchantment jutsu ends up being a lot larger than we expected it to be, and she has Sasuke under control. That's the fun part about a character like this, where there's so much about her powers that we don't know. It could work narratively if there's a flashback showing this or exposition provided by Ada. However, while I do think we're on the verge of a major plot twist, I don't think this is going to be it. But this possibility does excite me, which is why I'm making the video on this topic. Let's assume that this is correct. Let's assume that Ada has already placed Sasuke under her enchantment, perhaps without Sasuke himself even being aware that she's done so. This essentially makes Ada one of the most dangerous enemies that we've ever faced in this series, because not only can she essentially strip away the fighting spirit of somebody, but she can also do so without you being aware of it, and she can also do so from a considerable distance, perhaps without you even coming into eye contact with her. That is absolutely broken if this ends up being the case, and it makes you wonder just what the weaknesses of her enchantment powers are. Also, if Sasuke is under her spell, this is going to go one of two ways. Either Kishimoto, as a writer, is going to take advantage of the fact that when you have characters interact with each other for the first time who typically don't interact with each other, or they've never interacted with each other, it gives you an opportunity to see another side of a character. Kishimoto could take this time to show us what a lovesick Sasuke looks like, which would be so out of character to see that level of emotion from Sasuke, which is exactly why the humor element in this would work. So we could see Sasuke reduced to being a bit of a gag character, though I personally think that reaction is going to be saved for when Naruto comes into interaction with Ada. Or we could see in real time just what happens when Amato was talking about to Shikamaru when he said that anyone placed under Ada's enchantment who attempts to try to kill her is going to have their minds destroyed in the process. We could see that with Sasuke, and if that happens, like I said in the video you should have seen yesterday, not necessarily going to be the best fan of that, but there is an in-universe explanation of it. It's one thing to have Amato give us new information without anything credible to back up his claim, all while withholding vital intel about Ada's weaknesses that we as readers actually know, which is the fact that her powers can't work on blood relatives and they can't work on people who have Otsutsuki blood. It would show, at least when it comes to something of importance, Amato was finally telling the truth about something. However, if Sasuke has been enchanted by Ada, now we have a bigger problem, which is that Shikamaru alluded to it in the chapter. Ada and Code make a very deadly duo because Code is the bigger problem in Shikamaru's eyes because Code is the combatant. If Naruto and Sasuke can't fight because Ada has them so flustered and affected that it leaves Code being able to kill them without any issues, that's going to be a problem. And it's the exact same logic that was used in Rurouni Kenshin's live action prequel movie that came out in 2021, which, as a side note, the 5 Rurouni Kenshin movies that are live action, that's live action manga done properly. Great things happen when the mangaka actually helps write the story script and you get a director and producer who know the content that they're adapting. But in the movie, when Kenshin learns that his wife Tomoe was actually a spy and had seemingly betrayed him, it left Kenshin's mind so broken that the enemy thought that this was the perfect time to attack him, and they almost succeeded in killing him. Enemies who he otherwise would have killed with no issues under normal circumstances, they almost got the better of him. Shikamaru's big brain has jumped to that same conclusion when it comes to Ada. If she isn't stopped and she gets her hands on Naruto and Sasuke under that enchantment, it's essentially open up the door for Code to essentially checkmate. If Shikamaru learns or sees that Sasuke's under Ada's spell, it leaves us in a situation where Shikamaru is going to have to come up with a plan to get Ada out of the room so they can resume fighting as normal, which is something that I've been stressing for a while. In order to have physical conflict resume, there's going to have to be a carrot on the stick moment meant to get Ada out of the room and lead her away so Shikamaru can come up with a plan needed to right the ship in front of them and stop Code from getting his limits removed, which I believe is the reason why Shikamaru is offering to offer Kawaki up to her. While I don't think Sasuke being under Ada control at this moment is very likely, I do like the fact that it highlights how much of a danger Ada presents to the story. In a world like Naruto where we see all these shinobi throwing down with major taijutsu, overpowered, earth-shattering, earth-shifting ninjutsu, it's easy to forget one of the core elements of being a ninja, which is being deceitful, being deceptive, and setting up the move hidden behind the move. Kunoichi in particular have a real role to play. They aren't supposed to just throw shuriken or break your face in like Sakura does. They're supposed to use their feminine gifts to do things that their male counterparts can't do. It's part of the art of deception. It's one of the things that young girls back when Naruto was at the academy, it's one of the things that they were taught, classes on how to be feminine. Those feminine gifts might be needed when you're out on a mission, and they might be needed to close out a mission. Maybe you have to seduce and charm somebody for intel. Maybe you need to blend in somewhere during a mission, in which case your male counterpart can use you as a wife or a girlfriend, because posing as a couple is going to stand out a whole lot less than somebody being a lone wolf. A lone wolf is going to draw attention. Ada's powers of enchantment go back to that art of a Kunoichi being able to seduce, and it being just as effective, if not more effective, than the actual battle ability. It's why Naruto's sexy jutsu, while it being an utter gag at its core and how it's used, it still accomplishes this very feat, being able to be used to make male ninjas lower their guards, lose their composure, and open them up for attack. We saw the reverse harem jutsu being used on Kaguya and how effective it was. Ada being used to charm her enemies while she's fully aware of what's going on, it makes her very dangerous, and it's why I love her character, because she presents so many opportunities that we haven't previously been able to explore, because we've not seen an enemy like Ada that uses seduction as a weapon. However, I want to know from you guys, are you guys on my side in saying that while this idea of Sasuke already being under Ada's control sounds cool, doesn't quite feel right at this moment? Or do you agree with my patron that right now Ada has Sasuke under control and she's actually more broken than we thought? If this does end up being the case, if this is true, on a scale from 1 to 10, how big of a plot twist could this be? Let me know down in the comment section below, but as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.